Good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Church of Religious Science here in New York City. I'm really glad you're all here, whether you're here with us at the center or joining in on Zoom, having your morning tea, or catching us later on Facebook, Insta, or X. Now, for today, I want to start off with a little bit of boldness from the great Reverend Ike. As he said, you just can't lose with the stuff we use. And that's a line I'd like you to take in today. If you're working with this teaching, you're not going to lose. See, that's the energy I want for us today. Joyful, confident, and because as we are, we become open to receive good. The truth is, in life, from a metaphysical point of view, you're in the perfect place at the perfect time. You cannot fail. You cannot fail. You absolutely not can. You cannot. You may think you can, but you can't. You simply can't, because you're a spiritual being. You're in the perfect place. You're in the right place at the right time. Now, I know that that's a bold statement. Some of you might be thinking, well, you don't know what happened to me lately. You think it's all as well. But I do know, so please hear me out for a second. What if every single thing in your life, right up now, right up till today, every joy, every challenge, every in-between moment, what if all of it is a reflection of what you've believed deep down inside of you? Ernest Holmes advised us in our Science of Mind teaching this way. He put it simply: change your thinking, and then you will change your life. And he wanted us to understand that your life isn't accidental. It's not random. You are a unique individualization of this great life. You are one with the one. You are part of the whole. Your life in many ways mirrors what lives in your heart. Your life mirrors what lives in your heart, your thoughts, and in your deepest beliefs. Let me tell you, you're already succeeding in creating something. The real question is, what is it? And what do you want to create next? So take a moment today and reflect. Reflect on the question, what's the one thing in your life that feels off? Is there something where you feel like you're coming up short, or where you're failing? Maybe your bank account has been stretched thin. Maybe you think you don't have enough, or maybe your relationship is in trouble. You feel that maybe there's something troubling you about your interactions with other people. Maybe for some it's a health worry or concern that's been weighing you down. You see, most of us have had these seasons. I've had these seasons as well. But here's the truth always. You're not failing. You've been succeeding at bringing to life the picture that you've been holding inside of you. And even if it's not the picture you want, so what's the good news behind this? Because we're always talking about the good news. Is you can change that outer picture at any time. You can tell yourself a new story, you can have a new realization. We teach as within, so without. So the work we do always is going to be in consciousness. It's going to be in what we call mind. And you can tell yourself a new story. And the moment you begin telling yourself something true and beautiful, something new, an elevated idea, an expansive idea, your life is going to start to make a shift. It might be subtle at first, but as soon as you start steering and moving in that direction, life starts responding. And that's what Ike was talking about by saying you can't lose with the stuff we use, because Spirit responds. You can rely on Spirit also to guide you for new information if you open yourself up to it. So again, you can't lose. Let me tell you about a minister I know and I admire. Years before he ever stepped onto a pulpit, he worked a really high-pressure job. It was marketing. He had deadlines coming at him right and left, clients who were never satisfied, and he lived with tremendous stress. For 7 years, he had the same assistant. I think her name was Stella. They had deep spiritual conversations, and he gave her once a copy of our textbook, The Science of Mind. And life went on. They lost touch eventually. But I want to fast forward this story about 18 or 20 years. The same minister was in a conference in San Diego, chatting in the lobby of this great church, when he sees a familiar face, and it turns out being the same woman, Stella, who he had worked with years before. And she looked right at him, and she broke into a smile and walked over. And she said, I drove 2 hours just to hear you. And then they had coffee, and she told him, my life got really tough. I was starting over in a new career, and I felt like I was completely lost. And she says, I pulled out that book you gave me, the textbook, and I remember how you were always calm and steady no matter what was going on. So I pulled out that book, and I started reading, and I started affirming, I started practicing. And she said, eventually the light within, she said, I just started thinking of things a little bit differently. And she kept with it. She kept studying New Thought. She got affiliated with a church, and she said she's living a whole new life. And here's the thing. She said, and he reported back, this minister never preached to her. He didn't try to fix her life. He just practiced the teaching, and he shared it with her. And really, that's all we do here every Sunday. We don't have dogma. We tell you about a law and a power that responds to you. So, as Emma Curtis Hopkins said long ago, you don't have to speak the truth to teach it. You simply have to try to live it to the best of your ability. For those of you who are here on this call today or listening later, you are each living or beginning to live the teaching also, whether you realize it or not. Because every day, your way of being is planting seeds in the lives of the people around you. And sometimes, it's work. Sometimes it's months before those seeds bloom, but they do bloom. So let's speak this together today. And if you're at home cooking breakfast or taking a walk or doing whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter. Just say it right along with us right now. I'm a success. I'm a success. My life reflects my beliefs. So do you feel that you're a success you can't lose? And as you do, you're claiming it for yourself. Here's the next layer of this truth. Your life is always broadcasting what you believe. Your thoughts, your feelings, the stories you're always repeating, they're like a signal that you're sending out. You're broadcasting something. And the universe is always answering, saying, okay, I got you. Let's make that real. So it's really important to pay attention to what you're thinking, what you're saying, and repeating and believing. The universe is never judging you. It's not keeping score. It doesn't say you're good or you're bad. It's more like the sun shining without preference, or it's like gravity. It works the same for everyone. It simply responds to the signal that you're sending out. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, the universe is a spiritual system, and we are at its center. We used to say things like, I'm a point of power within the mind of God. So let's get real for a moment. Think about something that feels challenging in your life right now. Everybody seems to have something. It might be health. It could be money. Maybe you grew up hearing that, there's a shortage of money, or money doesn't grow on trees, or there's not enough. Or maybe you have a challenge with your health. And maybe you've heard whatever the challenge is, it runs in my family. And these aren't just throwaway lines. They're old messages or scripts that we absorb from parents, teachers, and well-meaning friends. And they quietly set the pattern for what we see in our lives. It's the bills that keep piling up. It's the aches that stick around, the relationships that hit the walls. But here's the good news always. You're never stuck. You're never stuck with these old scripts or these old patterns. You're the author, you're the writer, you're the director, and you're the star of your life's movie. So you definitely have the ability to rewrite the story starting today. One of my friends, she was a judge, she always said, the final chapter has not yet been written, and it hasn't. So you can rewrite your story starting today. What do you want that story to say? Maybe it could be, I'm healthy, I'm vibrant, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, wealthy, and whatever it is, wise. I have more than enough energy to share and to enjoy. Or love flows to me and through me in beautiful ways. You see, the universe is listening all the time. And at the moment you give it a new message, a new belief, it begins to reflect your new understanding. So here's a quick example from relationships. One of our members, her name was Karen, realized with her own line, she used to say something like, I'm not really good with people because people always let me down. So she has her guard up, right? And she changed her message to, I attract people who are kind and supportive. And at first, it seemed that she attracted more people who were negative. But she stayed with that idea that I attract people who are kind and supportive. And in her case, before long, there was a neighbor that she didn't know very well, asked her to go with her to a community group where she started attending. And now she has two friends, and they're really good friends. And that's what happens when we change our script. When our script changes, in her case, she attracted what she needed. So once again, as you start to work with this teaching, you're going to realize that this teaching is going to work. You can't lose, you can't fail. I say this because you do have the ability to attract the things you want, but you've got to get clear. First of all, you want to get clear about the things that are sabotaging your success. And then you want to affirm and know the other things that you're looking for are definitely there. Everything you're looking for, you have. The kingdom of good is at hand. It's within you right now. So we want to get clear. We want to remove the stuff that's working against ourselves. That was my next note. My next note for you is stop working against yourself. This week, I have a little optional exercise for you. I'd like you to consider getting a notebook or a pad and a pencil. You don't have to do it now. And have something that you can write on. And give yourself a few quiet moments. I don't know, take 5, 10, whatever you need. And pick one area of your life where you feel stuck or stagnated. One area you'd like to expand or improve. And it could be anything. It could be an area where you want more prosperity, more money, maybe better health, more calm, more peace, different kind of relationship, an improved relationship. And once you identify the area, whatever it is, the first thing I want you to do is write down every belief you have about it. I used to do that with vignettes. I'd write in the composition book, and I'd go from one thing to another, to another, to another, just freely associating, what I want to have happen. And you do it without editing it. You do it without judgment. Just let yourself reassociate. Just let the ideas come through you and jot them down. No judgment or assessing them. So let me give you a few examples. You might write, I always get hurt, I'm hurting, I'm always short on cash, I never meet the right people. Or you might say, I'm negative, I'm really negative, I'm too negative, I'm critical, I criticize myself. I'm difficult, I find myself judging everything. I'm tired, I'm trying to take care of everything and everyone. Or maybe it's illness runs in my family. Or I've got to be really good at this. Or I'm not happy unless I'm really good. Or I'm not happy unless I'm at the top. And it can go on and on like that. So if you're going to do this exercise and you want it to be effective, simply write it all down. Don't second guess it, don't judge it. And after you're done, turn the page over. And now what I want you to think about doing is writing down the opposite of all of those things. You can look back on it if you want to. And from the negatives, from the things that were not expansive, on the next section you're going to write down the opposite. And you're going to write the opposite as though it's true right now. So here's a real example. One of our members, Linda, wrote, I always have enough money to pay my bills. I'm supplied and supported. And she went on to say, and unexpected gifts keep coming my way. In her case, the very next week, she found that she opened up her mail and there was a $75 coupon in her mailbox. And why that's noteworthy is there's something that she needed that she didn't have the ability to pay for it right away. And so that particular coupon was tied into something she really needed, and it came at the perfect time. So again, you've taken the time, if you do this exercise, to list all the things that you say to yourself or that you have been saying to yourself, and you're going to turn it all around. So it can take a little bit of time. Then after you've turned it all around, the next part of it, the last part of the instruction is your agreement to read your news story. See, the corrections, the positive statements are going to be your news story. And what you want to do with that is you want to read it to yourself every morning, and if you can, every evening. Read it slowly, say the affirmations so you can feel them, picture them. So you've got the assignment. You've got a little notebook of all the things that you say to yourself that are not really working for your highest and best. Get it all down there without judgment. Then you're going to flip the page, you're going to start something new. You can refer to the negatives and turn them all around. And then you're going to read it to yourself with a little bit of passion and feeling each morning and evening so you can feel it. Picture it. Ernest Holmes said to us, the thing you think about the most, you bring about. So I just try to show you how we do have this internal dialogue that tends to be negative with most people. Now, some of you have done a lot of work on yourself. Maybe it's not true for most of you. But I would hazard to say most of us have more to do. So do the exercise, whatever comes up, whatever you unearth, that's good. You've struck gold. And then the next part of it is you go to the second section and you're going to turn all of them around. And then you're going to read them to yourself in the morning and in the evening with passion, right? Because passion drives the bus, as we say. And what you're doing is you're giving the universe a new set of instructions. And here's the thing, life responds to it. It has to. It's what it does. So let's say together, we have a little break here. I'm the author of my own life. I'm writing a story of joy and abundance now. Again, we can say that louder with more conviction. I'm the author of my own life. I'm writing a story now of joy and abundance. And you could say it with Reverend Ike's words also. I can't lose with all the stuff I use. I know in recent years, I've had to become more careful with what I eat, for example. Many of us are now eating better than ever before, and we're making better choices when it comes to food. For example, most of us wouldn't dream of having donuts for dinner every night, but sometimes we feel that we're far less careful about what we feed our minds. The other day, I found myself, if you knew me, you would know I don't use TikTok. I mean, I've used it like twice or three times. But the other day, I found myself on TikTok, which I rarely touch, almost never. And the thing I knew, next thing I knew, I realized an hour and a half gone by. And I'm here telling you that, and here I am teaching everybody here to be the guardian at the gate. So that was kind of a slip for me that day because I just got drawn into it. Dr. Bill, one of my best teachers, used to tell me in classes many years ago that we can commune now with some of the greatest minds that have ever lived, if we want to, right? And the thing is, as you surround yourself with great ideas, expansive ideas and thoughts, you're going to lift yourself right up. But there I was on TikTok. So we can surround ourselves with some really expansive thoughts. We have such tremendous resources available to us that we didn't years ago. So here's a little challenge for me, for all of us, for the next week. Pay attention to what you're letting into your world. Are you spending way too much time listening to negative news? Or are you on your devices scrolling through all the headlines that make you feel anxious? Are you spending time with people who complain nonstop? Are you watching shows that leave you feeling stressed or empty or angry? Because all of that, you may as well think of it as mental junk food. That isn't communing yourself with the greatest minds around. What it's doing is it's mental junk food that's feeding your story. And what I invite you to do this week, like many weeks, is to learn to be the gatekeeper of your own heart, the guardian, the gate. Now, you don't have to shut people out, but you can definitely choose. You can limit your exposure to what drags you down. You can mute that negative group chat. There's people I just unfollow. There's things that show up in my social media. I don't know where they come from, but I've learned that I can unfollow them. And the suggestion for this lesson is to limit your exposure to the things, the activities, and even the folks that have a tendency to drag you down. Mute all that stuff. Skip the evening news for a night. Unfollow the account that leaves you feeling less than. Instead, challenge yourself to fill your mind with things that lift you up a bit. Read a book like You Can Heal Your Life. Listen to music that makes you want to dance. It doesn't matter if it's Motown, gospel, or whatever is going to light you up. Take a walk. Take a walk and let nature remind you. Nature is going to remind you how life renews itself. One of our members started listening to our uplifting podcast on her commute instead of the usual radio talk show. And she told me she felt lighter all week long. Rev Wade Adkisson, who taught Holmes and Barker and everyone else, myself included, he had a line which was, the ancestor of every single action is a thought. So it all begins with our thoughts. Every song you listen to, every conversation you join in, every story you tell yourself is going to shape your future. So let's start choosing the ones that are going to make us expand, the ones that are going to make our hearts sing. So I want to anchor this step. Let's anchor it together. I feed my mind with what lifts my heart. I feed my mind with what lifts my heart and nourishes my spirit. I can say that again. I feed my mind with what lifts my heart and nourishes my spirit. So there's one more thing for today. Well, there might be two. Your mind, think of your mind like a detective. Your mind is always going to find proof for what you believe. If you believe that life is hard, if that's what you really believe, then you're going to find evidence for struggle and life being hard everywhere. And if you believe you're unlucky, your mind is going to highlight everything, every mishap in life. So I want to challenge you to, let's give your mind a new job. Again, here I am with my notebooks this week. Keep one. And each day, each night, write down 3 good things from your day. Challenge yourself. This is like 12-step people doing a daily inventory. Write down 3 good things that happened from your day. Because what they're going to be is they're going to be evidence that your new story is true. So I want you to look for the good. I want you to write down again 3 good things from your day. 3 good things that are evidence that your new story is true. If you're working on abundance, just think, did someone do anything for you that day? Maybe someone bought you a coffee, opened up a door for you, showed some kindness, because that all counts when you're writing down your 3 things. Maybe you found a parking spot right by the store. That's a win too. Write it down. Some of you are working on your health. Maybe you went to bed a half an hour earlier. Maybe you woke up feeling more rested today or this week. These are both wins. Write them down also. Maybe you took a short walk and you felt refreshed. That's progress too. Maybe you're working on love and you remembered that your grandchild called just to say hi to you, or a stranger held the door open for you. Any of these are signs that love is present. I remember someone from the classes started this practice, and he noticed that his daughter sent him a few sweet, unexpected text messages, and he said to me, that was proof to me right there, because this isn't something she ordinarily does. He said, love is starting to flow into my life. So don't brush any of these things off as too small, because when you're doing your little journal, you're a detective, you're looking for the good. These moments are the first shoots of a bigger harvest. Remember our roomie who wrote, out beyond the ideas of right doing or wrong doing, there is a field, and I'm going to meet you there. That field is the good that you're looking for, and it's already here in your life right now. But you have to be open to see it, because it's there. Okay, I want to take a pause. If you're here in this sanctuary today, and in just a moment we're going to turn the cameras around so you can share one piece of good news that you've seen lately from your practicing the teaching. One small sign of good that's operating in your life. Or if you're in Zoom, you can drop it in the chat. And here's the question: what one thing has showed up recently that feels like a blessing to you? A little bit of an aha for you. It can be big, it can be small. Just one thing that shows you a little bit of proof of your new story, that your new story is already taking root. And let's say it together one more time. You can't lose with the stuff we use. So I have a final point for today, and I've said it already, and it's something I want you to carry with you. You cannot fail. You're not a failure. You're in the perfect place at the perfect time. You've been evoluting along. You've been evolving. You're a great success. The universe is always, always listening to the song in your heart, to what it is that you're, that inner dialogue that's so important. It's always listening, responding. You're not a victim of life. You are just the opposite. You are the creator of it. You're not broken in any way. You're not less than. You're not stuck. You are a divine spark of spirit, whole, perfect, and so powerful right now. And you have the power now to write a new story, and that's the challenge. You have the power to write a new story anytime you choose. So I'm asking you to check your beliefs, do that exercise if you can, or at the very least, do a mental inventory of your beliefs, the negative ones. It's important to identify them so you can replace them. And then begin to feed your mind with every good thing. Look for the good. They taught me many years ago from Edwina Gaines, I'm here to see the God in the good. Challenge yourself to see the good, the God in everything, knowing that every encounter is a holy encounter. If you have the eyes to see it, it's all unfolding for your highest and best. Because when you do this, you're not just changing your life. You're becoming a living example for others. Just like that minister was for Stella. Sometimes you're going to see the impact right away, and sometimes it'll take years for those seeds to bloom, but they will always bloom. So let's say it one last time with a big smile and open hearts. I'm a success. I cannot fail. I create a life of love and abundance now. Before we close, I want to honor something important. Saying you cannot fail doesn't mean life never is troublesome. It doesn't mean you don't hurt ever. And it doesn't mean you get to ignore grief or diagnosis or bills. It means this: even when a season is rough, you are not a failure. You are a being of spirit moving through a chapter of your life. And chapters start and chapters end. The new one certainly begins. The new chapters begins, and the power in you travels with you. We also don't use this teaching ever to blame ourselves for being where we are. We don't blame others either. We use it to claim authorship. If an old story has been running, that's been handed down to us through time, through culture, or just through our repetition, we can notice the story and we can loosen it up, and we can have compassion for ourselves, and we can drop it, and we can choose again. So we want to have compassion for ourselves always. That's a lesson we learned from Louise. She says, we don't do this to make ourselves feel bad about ourselves. So we identify areas, we have compassion for ourselves, and then we realize we have a choice. We have a new idea, a new choice. And that's how we can keep our hearts open while we grow. Ernest Holmes reminds us that life is responding to us always. He didn't say life is punishing, because it isn't. The invitation here isn't to be perfect. The invitation always for people in this teaching is to practice, knowing you're supplied and supported, to practice positive expectancy. So let's move towards our closing for today. Let's take a breath. Feel that breath going in and out, the steadiness. And know the steadiness that comes from this practice. Let's carry this right into our final prayer. As we close in prayer, again, take a breath in and out. And know with me that there is one life, one love, one power. And that life is my life right now. I know I'm whole. I know I'm worthy. I know I'm powerful. I choose thoughts of joy, love, health, and abundance. And I now see them bloom all around me. I release every old story and I step into this divine knowing, this divine truth. The truth that I'm a success and that I'm grateful. And together we can think and say, we are one with the divine, we're whole, powerful, and free. We create lives of love and abundance, and we let it be. And so it is. So I'm going to ask the guys to turn the cameras over to you in just a moment. I want to thank you all for being here. Whatever came up for you in today's lesson, whatever sentence sparked anything in you, drop your thoughts in the chat or share them when it's your turn. We usually have a moment or two for everyone who wants to share. So again, thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting the work we do. Thanks for the light that you are. So I hope you all go out this week and live your new story, your new empowered story. And that's it for me. So it is. Thank you.